This module will cover video editing software in Ubuntu Desktop. Probably the most popular video editor in Ubuntu is OpenShot. It's been around for a while, and although it still has some bugs to squash, even after years of development, it really is a great program. So we're going to go ahead and install OpenShot now, and I'll show you around in that software, which I think will look very familiar to you if you're used to using any sort of non-linear editor, Final Cut or Adobe Premiere, anything like that. It should look very familiar to you. I also want to introduce you to a program called Lightworks, which a lot of people do not know about yet. It is not listed in the Ubuntu Software Center. It is still considered to be in a beta phase. Right now, Lightworks is available for Linux, and you can download a Debian package. So we're going to do that. We're going to download the Debian package for Lightworks. If you would like to do this, all I did was search for Lightworks Ubuntu, I do believe. No, to find it, I typed in Lightworks. There we go. Type in Lightworks to Google, and then you'll find the Lightworks page, which is not lightworks.com. That's why it's a little tricky to find, lwks.com. And then I clicked on Downloads. Now here you can select Windows, Linux, or Mac. Of course, we're on Ubuntu Desktop, so we'll select Linux. Go ahead and download this Debian package file and save that to your Downloads directory. And let's check on our OpenShot installation in the Ubuntu Software Center. You can see here that that has completed. So while our Debian package is downloading, we'll go ahead and open up OpenShot. Here it is on the launcher, OpenShot Video Editor. And again, you can see the familiar layout of this program. Over here, you have your clip bin, and all of your editing controls will be here, your preview pane, and your timeline down here. I don't have any video clips here on this Ubuntu installation to play around with, but you would simply import your clips here. And again, you're familiar with this if you've done video editing. Just import your files, your clips. You can then drag them down here to the timeline. And again, this editing program is going to work like any non-linear editor. I think OpenShot's a very easy program to use, even just for home movies and things. I do recommend Lightworks if you want to get into heavier editing, as there are going to be quite a few more professional options, even though it is still in the development phase. So let's go ahead and open our Debian package by going to our Downloads file. You can see here the Lightworks Debian package. It's 62.3 megabytes in size, and we're going to go ahead and double click on that to open it in the Ubuntu Software Center for installation. So our package has opened in the Ubuntu Software Center. You can see that we have the option to install it. We'll select that button. The installation will begin, and we'll see if we get any messages as we had when installing iTunes, since Lightworks is not currently listed in the Ubuntu Software Center. It would appear that our installation is underway without any warnings. I did have to put in my password, and afterward, you can see here in the progress pane that we're beginning to download Lightworks, and the installation should proceed flawlessly from here. Lightworks is now installed, and we can search for it. Lightworks, the little red shark with the film strip behind it, that is their icon. And this, again, this program is available for Windows as well as Mac OS. And you can see here the welcome, that here you can create a username and a password. I already have an account here, and so I can put in my credentials to get into the program. Once you log into Lightworks, and you can see that Lightworks takes up the entire screen. I actually think this is pretty cool that you don't have the launcher to deal with over here or anything like that. It's a very engrossing kind of application and environment. I like it very much. We can create our new project here, test 1, and select the frame rate for our project, which I will leave to auto. You can see the helpful tool tips here that will help you get around in the environment, in the editing environment. And I think what's really neat about what they've done here with Lightworks is that no matter what you're familiar with, which environment you've been using, whether that's Final Cut Pro or it is Adobe Premiere or some other non-linear editor, they really try and cater to that in the way that they have designed this program. And so you have a lot of editor preferences here that you can change. And with these editor preferences, you can basically set up how you want everything to look. So whatever it is you're familiar to using or what it looks like, you can set that up here. You can set default positions for all of your different windows and things, so they'll always come up in that way. You can change your key assignment, so if you're used to shortcuts or anything like that. So there's a lot here that you can do with Lightworks. You can open a new edit here. That's what they're going to call a timeline. And the timeline also comes with a little preview pane here. So that's just an issue of semantics with what they're calling it. They're calling it an edit. So this is an edit here. This is like your clip bin. And if you're familiar with Photoshop, which I'll cover in the next module, and I'll show you a free alternative to Photoshop in Ubuntu Desktop, then you'll probably like the way that all of these panes can move around seamlessly, so you're not locked in as with other editors where you might be able to shift which side something is on, but here all of these can move pretty much independent of one another. Well, I think that's about it for this module. Again, I've shown you around OpenShot and Lightworks. Since this is not a course on video editing, there's no reason to show you anything further in these programs. If you do have specific questions, yet again, I urge you to create a discussion on the discussion board in the course so that we can all learn together. Other people can benefit from your question, and I'd be happy to give you an answer related to the specifics of these programs. Just do remember that unless the question is very general in nature, again, this course is not covering video editing. It's not covering Lightworks or OpenShot specifically. So I can't get into actually teaching you how to edit video if you don't yet know how to do that, as it moves beyond the scope of this course. Let's move on now to look at image editing software. I'll show you how you can install Photoshop in Play on Linux and how you can also download a free alternative to Photoshop in Ubuntu Desktop.